Really, Blizzard? How many times is McCree gonna get banned? Okay, enough of me ranting. We got Widow, McCree, Wrecking Ball, and Mercy all banned for this competitive week. And on top of that, Echo is back. So let's jump right into the winners and losers as well as the DPS tier list so that you know exactly what characters you should be playing this competitive week. If you want to master Echo right away, we're pumping out videos on the Game Leap website that will help you master her as quickly as possible, so definitely go head on over if that's something you're interested in. All that being said, let's just jump right into it, shall we? So as usual, we definitely have to start off with the tanking category. And like we said before, Wrecking Ball is banned. So what are the big winners right now? And it's pretty obvious to see that this is going to be an Echo-fueled meta. And the best characters to be playing with Echo is definitely Winston and D.Va. Dive compositions are going to be insanely good this patch. And Winston and D.Va are pretty much the only option right now because Hammond is off the table. Winston D.Va dive is going to be really good, and there's going to be an extra pressure on D.Va to put pressure on the enemy Echo. There's going to be no mercies right now, so D.Va can put a lot of pressure onto the Echo if the Echo gets too greedy, doesn't save her resources to go back to her team. Really tight play from a D.Va is going to be needed, and then of course some sort of synergy between Winston and D.Va. I would definitely suggest duoing. I suggest this every week, but as tanks, if you can find a duo that plays your other counterpart, then you can ensure that 1, you always play the tank that you want to play, and 2, you and the other tank are on the exact same page, which is really important when you're playing dive. Now, let's talk about characters that are decent in this new patch, and we have Rein. Rein's not going to be quite as powerful as he was in the previous patch, but he's still going to be fine. He's still the best shield tank. He's still decent. We're going to have Sigma, who is actually pretty good against a lot of the characters that are going to be played. He's going to be pretty good in a double shield composition with someone like Rein. Sigma has quite a bit of play against Echo. He doesn't get bullied in the same way that the loser on my list does, and I think pound for pound, he's pretty decent this patch overall. And then one character that might surprise you right now that is actually pretty decent is Roadhog. I think that Roadhog is actually better than he's been in a little while right now for the simple reason that he is pretty good against Echo. I mean, Roadhog doesn't really care that much about Echo's damage. She can't burst him down all that easily, and just your positioning alone can prevent her from taking a lot of these really hyper aggressive plays because you could shut it down with Hook. So while I don't think he's as good as something like D.Va, he is definitely not the worst character you could be playing. Now, as for the loser in the tanking category, unfortunately, I have to give it to Zarya. Orisa is in the losers category because she's been in the losers category and she's always in the losers category, so I'm not going to really talk about her right here, but Zarya takes a big hit right here, specifically because in a Echo-dominated meta, Zarya has problems dealing with verticality. She, like Rein, has those same problems, but unlike Rein can enable other characters that can deal with that verticality. Characters like Soldier, characters like Ashe, Rein can help enable those characters in a way that Zarya really cannot. Zarya can help enable Rein's brawl style, but that brawl style is a lot weaker without a character like McCree. So really, I think that Zarya is worse than normal, that she's by no means unplayable. You can play, of course, any of these characters, especially if you're not at the highest tiers of play. I definitely need to reiterate that over and over again because I see it in the comments that you're saying, yeah, you can play everything. Of course, you could play everything, not at the highest ranks of play, but you just got to think about what characters are going to be played and what characters are going to be good. And I know for a fact that even if Echo isn't the best character in the entire game right now, she is going to see play in every single game because she just popped off the ban list. She's probably going to see 100% playtime on both teams, and as such, Zarya might struggle a little bit more than normal. Now, let's move on to the DPS category, and instead of doing winners, losers, decent, whatever, we're actually going to do a tier list because I know that everyone always says, what about this hero? What about that hero? People get mad that I don't include every single hero on the list. So I'm going to include a tier list for every single DPS hero. But if your character is not in a tier that you like, don't get mad at me. Anyways, let's first talk about the S tier. S tier, the best, the creme de la creme, the best characters you could be playing, the characters that are probably going to be dominating this meta week. And it's Echo, Tracer, Soldier, and Reaper. Echo, of course, is going to be in every single game. While yes, she doesn't have a Mercy Pocket because Mercy is banned, I don't think Echo really needs a Mercy Pocket in the same way Pharah needs a Mercy Pocket. What you have to do in every single game is really be careful about using your abilities and engage with abilities in a cycle. Think about the cycles of someone like Doomfist. You engage with your abilities, you disengage with some abilities. With Echo, getting into a position to kamikaze the enemy, go on these powerful flanks, using your abilities all of them and then getting out and then starting the cycle over, or just playing with the team for a while, is definitely what you need to learn on Echo. Mercy never really wanted to go with an Echo on a flank anyways, so now all you have to do is just learn the proper flanking style of Echo, and you'll be just fine on Echo. Even without a Mercy pocket, trust me, you'll be fine. Echo plays much closer to something like a flying Genji than she does a Pharah. Now we're going to move on to the next character, is Tracer. Now, while Brig is here, Tracer definitely doesn't feel as good against Brigs. Of course she doesn't. But Tracer is actually pretty good against Echoes, really. Her range buff that she received many patches ago really helped her up against the Echo matchup. And Tracer's really good to play with an Echo in a dive. She's really good across the board, and I think that Tracer is going to be really good as long as you're playing a dive composition. You're going to get quite a bit of value on Tracer. And then Soldier's good because, one, he's one of the only hit scans still alive to counter a Echo, because Widow and McCree are both banned. And then also he can be played with a Rein composition, a Rein Sigma composition, a Rein Diva composition, and he can play with a dive composition. So he has that versatility, which is really good. In a similar way, Reaper kind of has that versatility. Reaper is pretty good against dive compositions, notably Winston, and he's pretty decent with a dive, like I've reiterated multiple times in the past. Reaper is just pretty good at punishing tanks. In a 2-2-2 situation, Reaper can always get value, especially if you are underneath the Masters rank. Reaper would be the character that I suggest more than anything, because Reaper can guaranteed get you a lot of value if you learn to utilize him. I've given tons of guides about Reaper in the past, so go check one out, and I guarantee you, you can almost guarantee to have value on Reaper every single game. Now, let's move on down to the A tier. Characters that are really good, but they don't quite get to the S tier level, one where I would expect you to play at least one of the S tiers in every game. So A tier would be Ashe, Doom, Mei, Hanzo, and actually Genji. Okay, so Ashe, of course, is really good at dealing with Echo. She's one of the few hit scans left on the list. But unfortunately, Mercy is gone, and you can't damage boost an Ashe, which is the best way to play Ashe, of course. She's one of the best characters to pocket. So sadly, Ashe is only A tier. And I do think that Ashe is really good, but I wouldn't say that she's S tier just because Mercy's not in the hero pool, so she can't be played to the highest level. And then Doom is on the list because besides the bugs, Doom is great at diving, he's good at countering things, he's good at punching things, he's good at getting kills, he's good at carrying. But he's kind of bad against Echo. I mean, sometimes they don't really fight in the way that you would think that they would traditionally fight each other, but he can't really deal with an Echo very well, so that puts him only in A tier. And like I said, Echo's going to be in every game regardless of if she's good or not. She is definitely going to be in every game. And then Mei is only in the A tier and not in the S tier because Dive is going to be played, and Mei isn't that good against Echo. She's not great against Dive. She definitely has sustain, but you get the most value out of Mei when you're up against other Rein Zara compositions because you can get more wall value, and having a dive composition, a lot of characters can go over the wall. So she is good. She's always good, but I don't think she's quite S tier, but don't be afraid to play her, of course. And then Hanzo, definitely pound for pound, great, amazing character. His only weakness is a coordinated dive with a diva, which unfortunately is exactly what is the best composition right now. So that is why Hanzo's not really S tier, even though most of the time he is. And if you're insane at Hanzo, just play Hanzo. Honestly, if you're insane at Hanzo, play him every single patch that he's not banned. Then we're going to talk about Genji, which I think Genji is actually pretty good right now. Genji is pretty decent when played with the dive composition. He's good with an Ana, which you're going to want to play. And I definitely don't think he's the worst against Echo. He actually has quite a bit of game against Echo. He could pressure Echoes that get too low. He can reflect some of her damage. Genji's not bad against Echo. She's good with Echo. He could be good with the dive. I think Genji's pretty good right now, actually. He's a pretty decent spot overall, especially if you have an Ana to consistently nanoblade you. Now let's move on to the B tier characters. And B tier are characters that are really good. They're good, but I wouldn't play them every single game. I don't really think that they're one-trickable characters in this meta, but in the right scenario, you can definitely whip them out. Junkrat, Torb, Sombra, Symmetra, characters that can do their job and can get value in the right scenario. Like, you don't want to be playing Junkrat on Junkertown on attack first point because it's so wide, but playing Junkrat on Temple Anubis on the defense, just fine. He's just fine in those scenarios. Junkrat is solid on the maps that he's good, but he's probably someone you want to avoid on the maps that he's bad. Torb is good as someone that's actually pretty decent against Echo if you have a secondary shield to protect his turret, because Echo doesn't have a pocket like a Mercy. So Torb is not bad, and he's pretty good against the Rein Mir because he can break shields really well. Sombra is pretty decent, actually. Underrated in my mind, because Sombra, her gun is pretty good at fighting Echoes, and her hack's powerful. The biggest problem right now is because Wrecking Ball's off the table, you're not going to get as much value as you normally would on Sombra, because that was one of the best things to do, is just play Sombra to shut down a Wrecking Ball. And D.Va is quite a bit better against Sombra because of the spy checking ability, the ability to cancel hacks, things like that. Symmetra's good in the Rein mirror or in the double shield mirror, things like that. Definitely decent. Pretty bad against Dive though. That's why she goes down to B tier. And then Pharah makes it to the bottom of B tier. Sadly, she might actually deserve C tier just because Mercy's off the table. I'm putting her in the bottom of B tier because she recently got a buff and she's pretty good, but I think Echo is pretty good against her. And then without a pocket, Soldier and Tracer are pretty good against her. The only reason that Pharah is not in C tier is because Widow and McCree are off the table, so that makes her slightly better. But the fact that she doesn't have a Mercy pocket is definitely a big negative mark against Pharah, because unlike Echo, I think Pharah really needs that pocket if you want to get consistent value. And then in C tier, we have to put in Bastion. I always put in Bastion in C tier, and I know I get the comments like, Cheese meta, Cheese is always going to win at lower ranks. Cheese is going to dominate. But as far as a meta list is concerned, there are many ways to play around a Bastion. There are many ways to shut down a Bastion. In fact, if you want to see a video that I really explain in detail about how to shut down a Bastion, smash that like button and let me know in the comments down below, and I'll get right on it. I'll tell you exactly what you need to do every single time to where a Bastion will never beat you again. Anyways, let's move on to the support category really quickly and break down the winners and losers so that you know what supports to play. So the winners, the big winners right now, I think Brig and Lucio. Brig, of course, is really good because Dive is going to be good. It's going to be a good counter to Dive, and I don't think Brig is that bad with Dive. Brig can actually enable an Echo, give her armor packs. Brig is pretty powerful in general. He's powerful with a Rein against Dive, powerful with the Dive. Brig could be played in a lot of different situations. I think Brig is a big winner, and then Lucio's a winner because Lucio is good at enabling Dive, and if you're playing a Rein, you definitely want a Lucio, and pretty much Lucio's always good when he's not banned. So, of course, he's a winner. And then good characters, Mora and Ana. Mora could be a good hedge if you're playing not a dive composition, but you want to be safer against a dive. You can definitely play Mora because she's better against dive than Ana is, and she can bring your team a lot of sustain. And then Ana, of course, is a character that's always going to be good because she is versatile. She's good just like Brig is. She's good with dive. She's good with a Rein composition. I will say that if you're up against a dive composition, there's a certain amount of skill required to get value out of Ana, because Ana can get shut down, DM in your face, coordinated dive. If you can't try to get some value and make a play on them, or if you don't have adequate peel, you're gonna get shut down on Ana. So if you either one, don't have the skill, or two, you're not getting adequate peel, you might want to just swap off. And then the still meh category is what I'm gonna call it. They're not really losers, but they're still meh. Zen and Bap. I think that Zen is just pretty bad most of the time. He gets dove, he dies, he's paper thin. We've talked over and over again about the problems of Zen. I do think that in this meta, in a dive meta, he might be able to get a little bit of value because he can cord his Echo, and you can discord a target, and the discord a target pretty much just gets melted by Echo or a Tracer or whatever. And you don't have to deal with Hammond, which is slightly nice, but really, I think that you could play another character on the list. And then Bap. Bap is going to be good with the double shield composition if you play it, and he's going to give you that extra sustainability against the dive, but he's pretty terrible in a dive, so please do not play Bap in a dive. You're not going to get that much value, you're not going to get that much heals off, and there's a lot of other characters that you could play if you're playing dive compositions. Now, don't forget, if you want to master Echo, which everyone's going to be playing, but if you want to be the best Echo, you want to be the greatest Echo, definitely go check out GameLeap.com. We have in-depth Echo VOD reviews and analysis, tips and tricks, everything you need to become that insane Echo. Anyways, if you have any questions, comments, agree, disagree, or just want to roast me down in the comments down below, definitely let me know. Just type away. But that's all we got for you today. I'm Coach Mills, and until next time,